We believe that music is one of life's greatest gifts. We believe it is a gift that should be cherished. We believe that if you love music, you should choose headphones that love you. Officially the worst. I unboxed this thing twice. And that... I've seen this poor woman on their campaign, because this was a Kickstarter or Indiegogo. And she does not look like that, and I can't believe she signed off on letting them use this particular shot. And by the way, no aspect of this headphone makes me feel like that, but, you know, this woman's easier to please, if you know what I mean. The Audeara. Audeara? Oh, I'm trying to pause it there. That's dumb. I'll pause it here. Or I'm going to pause it with this button. So, Bluetooth headphones, right? Not a normal set. They're trying to do that whole correct the sound to your hearing like the Neurophone. Remember this one from back in the day with the magnets? Oh, I love that. So good. So, like, just... Remember the Zeos penis ears? Remember these with the silicone cups and the weird pokey things? Well, what these did is you put them on and they produced sound through this, but there was also a speaker back here, and they sealed on, and then it played used an app, it played a series of sweeps, and it listened to your own ear canal, your own size of your ear, made corrections for it, and then it made music sound good. Now, this is a $400 set. And it had no way to hook it up analog, except if you used, like, these crazy wires, which are like a 3.5 to a USB, not even a USB-C, it was like a miniature HDMI plug. And it had this cool silicone magnet thing to hold wires, but that was too tight, so I just did that. And you put it in your hands. Oh, and actually, end of the day came and they... Did I fuck this up already? How bad did I make this? Beautiful. End of the day, $400. They actually did sound really, really good. Like, almost equivalent to $400. Now, these are not going for that price bracket. On Amazon right now, if I double check what's going down, these are what, $250? $250, 24 reviews, 3.5 stars. And I think that's about where they're going to sit, 3.5 stars. Because they are much more standard design, standard pads, very, very thick, comfortable. They're not the worst feeling headphones. I do not like how the adjustment works. In most headphones, you adjust up and down. But on certain headphones, for some reason, they've decided to go sideways. Like, that's literally making it wider so that it can end up lower, but it doesn't actually, like... I don't get it. That's the wrong orientation. And a couple headphones have done it. Not a lot. And I'm just usually complaining about it. So once they're on your head, you can make them smaller once they're on your head. No, actually, wait, I'm lying. You can't, because there's so much stress on that joint that you literally can't slide this. Once you do this, that's basically locked. So that means you're taking them off, you're clicking them into position, and you're trying them again. Which, now that I got the GoPro on my head, is about there. So let's look at them. This is... It's not metal, I don't think. This is not... Here's the thing. Is it metal, or do I think it's metal? Because this feels really good. This yoke does. This here does. This here does. I like this fabric, although it's a bit like you can move it around. Like, I felt like they need to glue that foam in place because you could just sort of jiggle it around underneath it. But overall, comfortable. Pads, not memory foam, thick. Thick enough. I wouldn't try to change them out. It's going to mess with things. Back cups, okay plastic. Little chintzy feeling over there. Sides are okay. This is okay. This is shiny black. The only part of the headphone that's shiny black plastic, except for this ring here, and I'm just like, it didn't need to be there. On the actual cups, left side, 3.5 millimeter input. When you get this woman in the mail, and then you take out the case, you get the following accessories. A USB micro charging cable, airplane adapter, 1/4-inch adapter, and then for some reason you get an Audeara, what are you called? What is this thing called? I keep forgetting. I know what they are. Lanyard? The hook? One of those. So you could do things, and you get the jankiest, shortest, just worst, just just absolute bottom of the barrel tin, 3.5mm to 4-pole. Like, it's got a button, which is actually very hard to press. Like, of all the little tiny buttons and things, that is probably takes the most gusto to push. But look at it. Look at this sad thing. You're not supposed to use it wired. I mean, I've used it wired, but you don't have to use it wired. You shouldn't use it wired. Just use it on wireless. Wireless. I'm going to use it off my phone. I'm not even going to hook my computer up. So 3.5mm microphone input. Power switch, which is right there. Which there's 2 switches on this. This is to turn on the actual Bluetooth. And this is to turn on the active noise canceling. So you can not have the unit paired with anything and just actively noise cancel, which is a nice feature. It's not as good an active noise canceling as Bose or Sony have out right now. There's a couple competing ones, but those 2 are really like top tier. And this is sort of in that category of like anywhere from $49 anti-noise to, well, $250 anti-noise. It works. It does work, but it doesn't stop a crying baby from coming through. And some of the really, really good ones, well, when I say that, there's 2. If you know of a good active noise canceling solution, I don't care what the price range is. What's the best you've heard? What headphones have used it? And gimme. Because ANC is important. I've taken a lot of flights recently. And if I could make everything go away, that'd be fantastic. So, power switch, literally a switch. Then these 3 small buttons, negative, dot, and positive. And they're real close together. And those are, when you're wearing them, presses make volume go up or down. Hold, do track change. Let's go to foobar. We'll do a track change. To play it first. Can I not track change? Here's volume. Maybe double press. Do I have to press the play button? Wow, maybe you can't actually do a track change. Just holding it should do that. It's been a while since I've used them like recently just to do some listening tests, but it's like, oh, I don't want to set into pairing mode. If you hold down the center button here, that sends this into pairing mode so you can pair it with another phone. Huh. Well, that's sort of wasteful. You can't change track with this. 2 buttons at the same time? Read the book. Where's the book? Yeah, hold on a second, Incastepa. That's Juno Reactor Incastepa, by the way. Okay, let's double check what we got going on here. Headphone controls. Doodle-doodle-doo. Download our app. Pair your device. Personalize your headphones. What does the headphone control do? They literally don't tell you. Multifunction buttons. Hold down the multifunction button for 3 seconds. You have to start flashing pairing. So it doesn't actually say that it changes tracks. If it does, I'm sure it'll say so on the Amazon page. Point is, those buttons are too fucking close together. A rocker for volume, and that you can hold one to change track, and then hold the other to change track, and then press for volume, is the standard. They didn't go with that. I just had it. Where'd it go? Boom. Here is the FIO BTR3, linked in the description. Because if you're just looking for a Bluetooth pair of headphones, might I recommend this and KSC 75s, or I was recently on a plane and was able to get away with, and I'm not kidding, Porta Pros. Cost Porta Pros. Open back Porta Pros, because I put them on. I had them in the airport. I was just sitting around in the terminal, and I'm not going to go shoving IEMs in my ears if I don't have to, because that's not my jam. Cost Porta Pros, I was going to put them away. Got on the plane with the costs. And then was still playing music. I asked a very nice old lady next to me, "Excuse me, miss, can you hear me? Can you hear the music that's playing? Is it bothering you?" And I had it up at a decent kick. And she was like, "No, not at all." And sure enough, and on the way back, I asked someone, and they were like, "Maybe." And then we moved in the plane, and the plane, was like, "No, I can't hear it." So you can use this and a Porta Pro on the plane. But I'm here to show you this bit. There's 3 buttons. There's a rocker and a button. And the button is play pause, and the rocker is up or down volume, press. Hold for next track, hold for next track. So, now again, this might be because foobar isn't always compatible with some of these things, and maybe Spotify would work. But either way, having 3 buttons crammed into the space of a rocker and the center being like the play pause, and it's a little dot, there's a little nipple indicator on it to say this is the center. But if you're just feeling for it, you're going to mess it up every goddamn time. So buttons too close together, mark it down. Now the active noise canceling being switchable with just noise canceling off, noise canceling on. Issue I have is it will not auto shut off. If you leave the active noise canceling, you know how many times I've come to get this pair of headphones after using them, shut this side off, but not this side. And now my headphones don't make go. And I'm like, well, the fuck, I wanted to use these today. I wanted to go for the walk today with them, and you got to charge them. So I appreciate the fact that you could turn on the active noise canceling separately from the actual headphone, and the headphone separate from the active noise canceling, but there's no safety protocol on it. There's no like, oh, you know, he hasn't touched any buttons for an hour. Maybe we should shut off and save the life of the battery? No, they don't do it. Let's get to the meat of the heart of the meat hearts of the situation. How do they sound, Zio? This is a headphone review. What are you, like 8 minutes into this video? 8? It feels like 11. But I'm going to hope it's 8. 8 is my hope wish. They don't sound very good on their own. But that's not the point. The point of them is, just like the Neurophones, they measure your ears, or the way I should put it is you take a hearing test, which I could say, new user, create new user, name of the person, YouTube, peeps, your birth year, which, here's the thing, when you do like the, what's the company that does the corrections in software? When you do the software correction company that sends you the profiles, blanking right now, you say how old you are, and it adjusts what you're hearing based on how old you are, because as you get older, you start losing the top end of your hearing, no matter what. There's very, very few cases of a 6-year-old man being able to hear like 15,000 hertz, which is why audiophilia is kind of funny. So if you put that, you have to put your birth year, and it goes all the way back to God knows when. Let's say the YouTube was born in 1948. Perfect. Continue. Welcome YouTube peeps, blah, 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 blah. We designed an experience to allow you to perform a medical-style hearing threshold test inside your headphones. So instead of like the Neurophone where you put it on, and the app says, start hearing test, be quiet, whoop, 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 whatever the hell it did, you have to actually take a test yourself and play with the settings. And you get 3 options for that. Standard, high detail, and ultimate precision. Now, this one says it takes 3 minutes, this one takes 5 minutes, this one takes 10 minutes. And when I first got these, I started with the standard one. 3-minute test, 8 beeps in 8 parts of a equalizer, and I was just done with it. I was like, okay, let's try these. And it was like, oh. So about 2 weeks ago, I sat down for the 10-minute ultimate precision test, and it took probably twice that. Because what they do is they give you a like 30-band equalizer per ear. You take the test twice. So you sit there, let's just do it. I want to do the 30, let's do the high detail, we'll do the 5-minute test, and then I'll cut it off in the middle. I don't want to do the whole thing. The tutorial, we can continue. Yep, you literally do this, and then you say when it's barely audible, got it, can you hear me? And it's left and right, okay, got it. Start test now. So here is the basic test. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You get 10 levels of EQ, and you can drag it up and down. And right now it's playing a tone. That's a 1,000 hertz tone, so hold on. And this is playing only out of the left channel. And you drag until you can barely hear that tone, bless you, beeping. So you can barely hear it, and then say barely audible, and then it moves you on to the next one, and you go, I can't hear it, and it'll raise that part up. So that's 1,500 hertz, and then it's barely audible, and then you just do this until it matches what you can hear. Now I get my audio acuity tested, or I self-test. So I know where my limitations are, I know what's cut off. And when I did the big precision test, Let me show you what my graph looked like. Oh, I'm going to cancel this. Yeah. So that's how you do it. You do that test. You do a long one. It's 30 of those. And you just go, I can still hear it. I can still hear it. I can still hear it. Can I still hear it? Barely audible. And then you move on. When I did it for myself, and I did the precision one, got it. Yes. That's the chart that came out. Do you see how I'm deaf? Oh my God. Like 11, here's 7K, and then it's like you're deaf after that. I'm not. I promise you. Chewbacca will vouch for that. And I'm sitting there, and I did the test almost closing my eyes and just going, no. Because you could stare at it and go, I could totally hear 20,000 hertz. I don't know why it's even telling me I can't hear that. And hitting, now I can hear it. But I went 100% as cleanly as I could, completely honestly with the headphones. And it gave me this fucking just like, you're deaf. Which I'm not. And what that did, I figured out, is it wasn't giving me a test on like 11, 12,000 hertz on very good neutral headphones. What this test is doing, personalizing your headphones, is fixing the headphones. You see, I got a chance to try the new Sony Bluetooth, right? The newest set, whatever the new revision of the 1000s are. And the guy gave them to me. He was at Fights. He loaned me this tube amp, actually. Or his friend had it, maybe the Sony's. And he said, here, plug them in. So when I went to the LAN, because I'm Zeos, the motherfucker Pantera, I brought a Shelly Lab Xenog 2 balanced DAC, and I brought a 789, all right? The gold standard from my desk. I brought one of these amps, actually that amp and that DAC, and I'm like, all right, I took these Bluetooth headphones from Sony that he's like, these are really good, and I plugged them in 3.5, which bypasses anything that they're doing internally. Petting my cat. And you know what happened? They sounded like asshole. How much are these? $300, but they sound like asshole. And they said, no, you can't use them like that. You got to turn on the internal amplification. So even though I was feeding it with the cleanest amplifier on planet Earth and a DAC that's good enough to compete with $1,800 DACs. Yes, baby, I love you. Here, let me see the lady. Poop on lady. Poop on the lady. She shouldn't be. Just go poop. They didn't sound good. Like not at all. Like not even close to acceptable. Until I flipped it over to use the internal amplification. I think I was able to use a 3.5 millimeter and simply turn them on. And once I did that, I went, wow, these are good fucking headphones. Because what Sony did and what Audeara is doing is they're correcting the headphone with DSP. When I took that test, and all of a sudden it was dropping like this, like, why can't I hear these high frequencies? It wasn't my ears. It was the inability of the rather cheap sounding headphones to produce it. So that's why when you come to this screen, which is after you've done the test, you get 0% experience, 25, 50, 75, 100. You set it to 0, which means just play the headphones with no correction, which should not be an option that they have. They should basically be DSP correcting this at 0 and then just adjusting slightly for you. But they're not. What they're doing is at 0%, you get to hear the raw power of whatever Chinese headphones they base these off of, which is not that good and very bassy, super bassy. And then once you start applying your profile, you're listening to the profile you fixed. You fixed it. Because the reason that I couldn't hear all the, 11,000 hertz was like 35 decibels down. And I show the results to DMS, and he's like, something's wrong with that. Don't show these to anyone. You're deaf. No one will trust you for a headphone review ever again. And I'm like, but I'm not. I get tested. What they're doing is they're handing you cheap plastic headphones. They're saying, listen to them with no DSP correction. And now listen to them with 50% DSP correction. 100% is just, I think 50 is perfect. I think 50 takes a look at the profile you did, and it gives you like the nice, smooth, realistic outcome. You can go anything more than 0. 0 is the crappy headphones they're made out of. 25 is like, ooh, get a taste of getting it better. 50 is actually makes these sound worth $200. And then anything 75 or 100 is sort of like just taking that raw graph and just pressing that raw graph to your ears. And ooh, it's like just shrill highs and no bass. So it's not wrong what they're doing, but it isn't quite. If I could take that Audeara test with, say, my Ether C flows, it would be like 2 decibels down, 1 decibel down, maybe 3 decibels down at like 16K. And then like I probably wouldn't be able to hear like 19, like the mosquito tone is like way down. But this thing was like 10,000 down. Everyone can hear like that unless you're like 90 years old. So they're basically, you're correcting the headphones to yourself, which is what they advertise they do. The problem is they're at such a low starting point that you're getting, I don't want to say the word mediocre results in the overall sound, but it's not what it could be. Because I could take a $250 actual closed back headphone, and then I could run it through, for the love of God, what's the name of that software? What's the name of that software? How come I can't remember that software? Hold on, wait. It might be written right here. Here. Yes. Yes! SonarWorks TrueFi. SonarWorks TrueFi, which they sent me some sample headphones. They gave me a license key to unlock all the headphones. Does what these do, but they have it all preset. SonarWorks TrueFi have listened and recorded every headphone they can get their hands on, and they've done correction things to it, and then they give it to you in the software. It can be put on your phone or the computer, and it will correct it to be more flat. What this headphone does, yes, it can correct to your hearing. That's true. That's 100% true. If you're deaf and you can't hear above this, it will raise those levels. But what it's actually doing is being like a TrueFi software suite for one headphone. Whatever this is based on, I'm sure some of you can look at it and go, oh, that's based on the yoga model C1039 that sells for $148 on AliExpress. And I'm going to go, yes, very good. Now moving on to the next thing. So they do what they say they do. They actually do sound good. Good. Once you've done the full test, you sit there and you're correct. You're fixing the headphones, not you. It's a foolie. It's a foolie. See, the Neurophones, you could shut off the thing and it sounded absolutely terrible. And that could also be what you're doing there. I think I yelled about it there. But at least it's fixing it on its own. And that made me sort of feel like they were deliberately fucking with it to sound bad, and then just sort of bring it back towards what the actual sound of the headphone is, maybe with slight tweaks. This sounds bad, and it's up to you to keep playing with functions and features to fix it. Now, however, here's another thing. When you put on the active noise canceling, like any active noise canceling, the sound changes. At least it didn't on the Sonys, because the Sonys are very, very good headphones. And it didn't on the new Bose, the newest revision of those Bose QC35s. Because they know when they put on the active noise canceling, something's going to go away. Well, how active noise canceling works is it's literally a microphone on this, probably that one. I don't think there's any other holes. Listening to the environment, so it's hearing my computer fans go, and it's taking the waveform that's going up, 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 and making another waveform that goes down, 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 and they cancel out. Now, that microphone can hear itself in the headphone. So when you turn that on, things get fucking weird. And so what I did is I did 2 profiles. I'm out of this one. I did Zeos Precision Deafness, and I did ANC Zeos. And this one, yes, yes, yes. Look at that. Look how weird that is. You know why that's weird? Hold on, let me show you. The left cup has the microphone. Look at the spike. I was able to hear like, what was that? At 14,000 hertz, the left one shoots straight up in the sky. Like, boo, because with active noise canceling on doing that test, completely messing with the way it sounds. Completely. So you have to run 2 tests. If you buy these headphones and you want to run the test once with ANC off, run the test again with ANC on, and have 2 profiles you can load. because it matters. You can actually correct, for the most part, what the active noise canceling is doing. I still think it sounds sort of like a seashell, a little bit hollow, definitely lacking in low end. But when everything is fixed, these are a very neutral set. So I'm giving them as good a thing as I can. I've had them since like June, and they keep having some firmware issues. One set just stopped working, but this pair works. This pair's got the newest firmware. This pair ran the crazy long tests over and over and over again until I was like, all right, what's actually happening here? The build, I have no issue with the build. They're quiet. Their quality. This is the only thing I have is when you turn this. This is metal, and it is sharp. So it's like it's beautiful when it's lined up, but as soon as you tilt it that way, you get a little bit of an exposure there, and this way you get exposures here. But I mean, that's a small price to pay. They don't fold up, and I don't like the way this adjusts. You have to adjust it off your head. You have to adjust it in or out off your head, and then as soon as you put any pressure like that, they're locked. And they just get wider. I don't get the whole wide thing. What if I needed to go up? And I guess, yeah, because I've got them, that's as wide as they go, and they still fit. So they fit as wide as they go. Let's put them down to like as short as they go. Well, if you have very low ears, and I know people with very low ears, TMS3TV, he's got ears in his face. His ears are like on his chin. But whenever he came to my apartment, he tried things on. He was like, this doesn't go low enough. And I'm like, I would put them on, and it would literally be on my cheeks. So these would not fit him. So that's another issue that they might have to come across. But they're trying to go for a small build in a small case. And, you know, that's what they did. I'm not doing a sound demo for these. I've already decided. Because, A, the corrections would be for my ears and not for the headphone recording rig, which already has problems. Although I guess I could put it on, do the test, and then hear it through my either C's, and then do it. No, it's not worth it. It's not worth a sound demo. So today's video has no sound demo coming out tomorrow. I've got lots and lots of other things that deserve sound demos. ANC off, again, power off. Is that gonna start blasting music now? I think I had it paused. Yes, I did. They're an option. They're a cheaper option than like the Bose. But what you could do is you could always buy used Bose or used Sonys. Or there's even cheaper. I've got an MPOW set over there. It's $48. That's Bluetooth with active noise canceling. And yeah, they don't sound that clean. But if you want the cheapest active noise canceling, I'll link that in the description. I wish they started with better headphones because I like the amount of adjustment I could do to them. It's like getting an old Honda Civic, like a 2004, and then you're allowed to tweak. It comes with a full Motec control options. You could adjust the timing and the fuel. You could do all that. But a Corvette would be better. My Corvette would be faster. Corvette would handle better, and you'd start with that, and then you could do. But then again, that's money. Then you're getting back into the $300, $350. You're getting to compete with those, and these cannot compete with Bose or Sony or Parrot Zix. Did those do any corrections? No, but those are just high-end Bluetooth. So I mean, anyway, that's my review of the Audearas. They tried. I understand what they did, and it does work. And I can recommend them absolutely. If you're looking for a $200 set of Bluetooth headphones, these are $250. How's that? So, moving on. Wallpaper, cute, available in the description. These will probably end up on the Patreon. I actually have two sets. This set and a set with older firmware. I'll probably put them both up at some point. And if you just want to try them, that's a great place to start. From the 1st to the 10th of every month, there's a Patreon yard sale. Usually if a company sends me something or I buy something, I'll throw it up in the yard sale and people can bid $1.63. You got to bid an off-camber number. I don't want everyone bidding $50 on the same thing. Then I have a four-way tie. And point is, Cheese has refined it to use Google Docs now, so it's so much easier to bid on things. free shipping in the continental United States. If you're international and you're willing to pay half the shipping, you could bid on them as well. You also get to see these reviews about a week early. I'm trying to build up a bigger buffer, so it's like a week, 2 weeks early in case there's something amazing that you need to buy. I'm pointing at something, you can't tell what it is. But it won't sell out before it goes public, so there's that advantage. There's a yard sale advantage. And if you jump into the $10 tier, you could ask me questions directly on Telegram. I have a private or rather large private group chat where everyone just messages me all the time, and it's great. You can still also, if you're a $5 tier or a $2 tier, ask me questions on Patreon. It's just those questions are about 100 questions behind right now, and it's so much easier for me to pull up my phone when I'm at the grocery store, read a question, and hit my microphone button and go, yeah, the way that the clips work is you got to put them near a wall. So that's my ideal way to answer people's questions. I will answer every question. It's just the $10 Telegram chat. It's just way easier. Just way easier. So if you want to check out the Patreon, link in the upper right or the description or in the middle and the end of this video. Thank you for Audeara for putting up with me. Keep working on this. I think a little bit more on the bass headphone and you got a little bit more on the bass headphone and actually like giving me something neutral to start with, because it's a bassy headphone to start with. Giving me a neutral headphone to start with, something like a Shure 840, and then giving me corrections. This thing will be amazing. But anyway, that's it. Download that, check that, click everything else, and I will see you tomorrow.